continent in the context of an integrated trading area in the broader arena of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. This is now a practical realization.
Botswana has just stunned the world, sealing a $12 billion deal with Qatar's Mansour holdings. The agreement is massive, covering everything from diamonds to defense, and it could change the country's future overnight. But why would one of Africa's most stable economies suddenly make such a daring move? Let's find that out.
On August 21, 2025, a quiet but unprecedented moment occurred in southern Africa. A deal was signed that turned heads, a $12 billion investment agreement between the Gulf's major capital player and one of Africa's most stable economies. For a country like Botswana, economy roughly $20 billion United States dollars in size, a deal this big is almost unimaginable. It's more than half of GDP in one package. Tonight, we take you behind the scenes of this mega deal, what it means, who's involved, why now, and how it may redraw global economic maps. Get ready, because the capital shift from west to east, from north to south, has begun. Botswana, a nation often lauded as Africa's rare economic success story, rich in diamonds, stable government, strategic location, but in 2024, growth stalled. The diamond market slumped. GDP contracted by 3%. Botswana's leadership knew change was needed. Enter Mansour Holdings, a privately held Qatari conglomerate tied to royal family capital and Gulf Africa ambitions. When they knocked on Botswana's door, the scope of the knock echoed globally. The agreement was signed with the state-owned Botswana Development Corporation, signaling full government backing. The sectors: infrastructure, energy, mining, diamond refining, agriculture, tourism, cybersecurity, and defense. This is no ordinary investment. This is strategic. This is the blueprint of a partnership built for decades, not months. Numbers matter. When we talk $12 billion in the context of Botswana, a few key facts stand out. Botswana's economy size, approx. $20 billion United States dollars. The deal is more than 50% of GDP in one commitment. The diamond sector, once 70 to 90% of exports, is now under pressure. Botswana is exposed. So why does this matter? Because this kind of capital signals trust. In an era of shift, for Qatar, for the Gulf, for Africa, the message is clear. Capital is flowing on new terms. The old dependencies are being rewritten. The agreement sectors are the real story. Let's unpack them. Infrastructure and connectivity. Rail, roads, airports. Botswana wants to become a logistics hub in southern Africa. Energy, renewables, conventional, possibly gas or fuel reserves. Diversifying from diamond revenue, mining and diamonds, beyond raw extraction, refining, value chain, higher local capture, agriculture and food security, farms, processing plants, export orientation. Tourism. Botswana already a safari destination, but new investment means scale. Global luxury branding, cybersecurity and defense. This part raises eyebrows. Standard investment, yes, but defense. That signals strategic depth. Each sector matters. Together, they form a mosaic of national transformation. This isn't just about Botswana. This is about a global shift. Historically, African investment came from the West, Europe, North America. Then China surged. Now, Gulf capital is racing in. Qatar's $12 billion deal in Botswana is part of a broader trend. Deep Gulf Africa investment now flows. What does that mean? New geopolitical alignments. Africa adding partners. Reducing dependency. Trade and value chains rewiring. Africa can offer land, labor, minerals. Gulf offers capital, markets, logistics. Strategic independence. For Botswana, diversification means less exposure to diamond swings. For the Gulf, Africa means food, minerals, influence. This is more than money. This is power. Grand deals attract headlines, but execution matters. There are four major challenges: governance and transparency. Big deals can falter if local oversight, corruption, governance fail. Commodity cycles. Botswana's diamond slump triggered urgency. The deal may succeed, or the funding may get delayed. Implementation capacity. It's easier to sign a deal than build it. Infrastructure takes years. Skills must be developed. Local benefit and value capture. Will Botswana just receive projects, or build capacity, jobs, technology upstream? If the promise of $12 billion is to become reality for citizens, then the next step matters more than the handshake. For Africa, Botswana's deal, a case study. It illustrates how medium-sized economies can secure mega capital, shift narratives, and diversify economies. It also illuminates the new era of South-South cooperation. Africa to Gulf, Africa to Africa, Gulf to Africa, with less reliance on traditional North partners. And for neighboring countries, the message is clear. If Botswana can pivot, others can too. The continent is watching, and investors are paying attention. What's next on this journey? Let's explore three possible trajectories. Scenario A: execution succeeds, infrastructure built, jobs created, value chains established. Botswana becomes a diversified economy. Scenario B: mixed outcome, some projects roll out, others stall. Diamond revenue improves, but diversification remains partial. Scenario C: implementation fails, funds delayed, governance issues, external shocks. The promise fades and rhetoric remains. Which scenario plays out depends on Botswana's management, governance, partner alignment, and global macro-conditions. But regardless of outcome, the moment is pivotal. This $12 billion deal is more than a number. It's a statement, a shift, a test, for Botswana and Qatar alike. For Africa, for the Gulf, for global investors. If you're tracking where money flows in 21st century geopolitics, this is a map worth watching, because the future of capital is no longer just east-west, it's south-south. It's Africa Gulf. And the ripple from Botswana may just become a wave across the continent. The Africa Ledger. Independent voices, African perspectives, global impact.